Welcome to Better Today, the podcast where we embrace the journey of self-improvement and well-being. Join us as we navigate the challenges and victories of everyday life, aiming for progress, not perfection. Whether you're on a quest for personal growth, seeking motivation to adopt healthier habits, or simply looking for a friendly conversation about navigating the ups and downs of life, Better Today is your go-to companion. Tune in to be a part of a supportive community that believes in the power of small steps and continuous improvement.
All right, Kim. What's happening today?
Welcome back to episode 2. We're doing it.
Sorry.
What's happening today? We just got back from Christmas, which was a lot of fun. Big trip up to New York.
Yeah, upstate New York.
With all the kids. It was a lot of fun, but a little bit crazy. So it feels good. This is our first day back home. Feels good to be home.
Yeah, 12 hours in the car. a little crazy. All right, pull that mic this direction a little bit. No, this way, because you keep looking towards me. There we go. All right. Now we're good. Locked in. What are we talking about today, Kim? You made all the notes. I'm looking at the notes right now to see what we're talking about.
We are going to talk about, we're days away from the new year, so we're going to talk about planning and getting ready, what kind of our goals are, how we're planning this year, how that's changed from previous years, because we always kind of do a big planning session together, and this year it's going to look a little bit different, and I think we are adjusting based on what's worked for us and what has not worked for us in the past. And so we're going to talk a little bit about it.
What is the big thing that you got me for Christmas this year that's going to help us plan all this stuff out?
Clearly, you didn't look at your notes because This is way farther down.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about it.
You got to hook them in the beginning, Kim.
So this year, we're changing it up. We got the big ass calendar, and we are going to plan our whole 365 days on maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. New Year's Eve is on Wednesday, maybe when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
It might be New Year's Eve, and we may be doing our planning.
Yeah, Jesse Itzler's calendar. So fun stuff. I've always wanted one. Never had pulled the trigger on getting one. And it showed up on the porch one day. And it had
a good Christmas present.
Big ass calendar written across the side of it.
My
instead
Christmas
of like the
presents
other.
always get ruined for you. Every year, pretty much, something happens, and you figure out what your big gift is.
I know. You know, most of the time stuff gets delivered in boxes have Amazon boxes, but this one just so happened to literally.
And I wasn't home. I'm always home to snatch things, and I was not home.
Yeah, big blue letters that says "big ass calendar" on the side of it.
So anyway, you got your Christmas present early.
Yeah.
Now we get to put it to use together this week. But anyway, I feel like heading into 2026, for me at least, this year just feels different. You know, usually I go into the year with like massive goals, like. I have all these things I want to accomplish, all these things I want to do, big, huge pushes. And this year, for me personally, I just feel like I don't have that many big goals. I just want more control over my everyday life and to figure out my plan, to put systems in place and to be organized and not feel like I'm in reaction mode. Mm-hmm. But I have that just control over my day, and I feel more productive. I feel more aligned. I feel like I'm moving forward instead of reacting to everything that's thrown at me all day, every single day.
Yep.
So I don't know about you.
Yeah, this brings me perfectly back to we were discussing on our trip what our word of the year is going to be, and mine. I don't know. I've not read all the way through the notes, so I don't know. Go ahead. Mine is going to be optimize, and I feel like this fits perfect with that because I want to optimize my day every single day. At least Monday through Friday, so that I want to live that day every day, Monday through Friday. I want to work. I want to wake up at the same time. I want to eat breakfast, do the same thing with the kids, whether it be take them to school, play with the kids, whatever, go to work, come home, upload everything for the clients or for the editors, then go to the gym, come home, eat dinner. Every day I want to have control over all of those things. And I kind of have, but not really. It always gets away from me a little bit.
I haven't thought clearly about my word, but when I kind of think about it, it's something like control or alignment.
Or optimize.
If I can't take your word, it's got to be my own word.
Yeah.
Because I just have, I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like every year we've had some crazy huge goal, and we've worked towards that, and we've spread ourselves too thin. And this year, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna have some big goals, a big financial goal, but it's not gonna be done in such a way that we have to spread ourselves thin.
Yeah, big goals are exciting, but finding that optimization and alignment of your days is what actually changes your life and how you're moving forward and how you actually are reaching those goals.
Yeah. And you still have to work. It's not like you don't have to work to reach these goals or to have these optimized days or the day structured in such a way that it's, productive and the way you want to live. You can't just live sitting on the couch, streaming YouTube videos or whatever, listening to podcasts all day long. You still have to get things done, take care of the kids, all of that stuff.
So I think my word's going to be alignment, because I don't want a bigger year. Like I said, I just want a more aligned year.
Yeah. And then it'll turn into a bigger year. Whenever you optimize and whenever you get everything aligned, causation, correlation, then it turns into a bigger thing.
So that's how we're moving forward. But most people move into New Year's with these big goals, and it's almost like a to-do list. Like they're trying to plan what they need to do, and they're not really planning out their life. And they forget that like motivation fails very quickly and real life happens, and they don't plan for that part of their New Year's plans. And I think that's why most people fail going into the new year. Agree? No?
Yes, I completely agree. Sorry, we've got one camera on a monopod and the cat just rubbed up against it. Yeah, I completely agree with that. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And you have to have experience to know what needs to be planned, because if you plan everything but you don't have any experience, you don't know that some of these things are always going to come up.
Well, and people forget to plan like around real life. They forget about family things. They forget about you're going to need some time to rest in there. That they forget like the normal daily occurrences, and they focus on I'm going to let's just use like a fitness goal, for example, because I think that's a pretty common New Year's goal. I want to lose X amount of weight. They head into the new year gung-ho. That's what they're going to do. All of a sudden, after week 2, kids go back to school. You're back at work. Life gets busy again, and you haven't planned for that within your goal.
Yeah. It's
and
more
then
like
it starts getting hard, and that's where people start falling off very quickly.
Yeah, kind of like a to-do list instead of all the things that come in between the to-do items that you don't, plan for. And that comes back to, like I said, the experience. You have to have experience before you know all the gaps that are in between the to-do lists.
Yeah. So what have we done in the past that has not worked for us? For me personally, we always used to do vision boards. And I love that idea because it's so fun to get all of your stuff out and to plan this perfect year that you're going to have with the perfect pictures, and it looks so pretty and so aesthetic and so nice. And then, like we were talking about right here, is there's no real life in there. There's no real plan in there. There's no action to those pieces that you're putting on your vision board. And that's a big part of what has to go into your New Year's plans. Like, it's nice to put a picture of the beach on there, but if you're not going to figure out, okay, we logistically don't have the finances this year, or we don't have the time because we have X, Y, and Z already booked, then that vision's never going to come to life. Yeah,
for sure. It's good to have a vision board and kind of put it out into the ether of what you want. But then if you don't plan for it or don't have some kind of strategy behind each one of those items, then it doesn't really matter.
And then we've done vision boards. And then another thing we've done is we're like, okay, vision boards aren't working. So then remember, we took our notebooks and we planned out our things. And we even wrote the steps we had to take to reach each goal. And we're like, that's the way. That's exactly what you have to do to reach these to-do list goals that we had. But then again, what did we forget about? Life.
Exactly. Or you forget to turn back to the first page of the notebook to look at it. After the first quarter, you're like, life happens and I'm literally focusing on making it through today and not worried about all of those goals. As long as I can get through today, I can start tomorrow. Yeah.
So those are pretty much the big things I think we've used in the past. This will be the first year we're trying this calendar system, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So I'm excited to see how that works for us. I feel like it's a little bit more functional to real life and looking at like time in general and how your year is not very long, 365 days. So when you can see all 365 days laid out in front of you and exactly what you had planned and it's staring at you every single day, I feel like there's a little bit more intention behind that.
Yep. And what you got to focus on, is remember real life. Don't just focus on all your New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. So this year when we're planning, we wanted to come back to something very simple. We thought about, you think about the pillars of your social media content. You think about the pillars of your business. You think about all this stuff. So we had to come up with like the pillars to our family and what made sense and what we're going to plan around. And for us, we came up with faith, family, finance, and fitness.
Yep.
And that felt like it covered our world and our family most well-rounded. So we can talk a little bit about what those things are going to entail and what those mean and why we chose them.
Yeah. I actually made some notes on the way home whenever you were driving a little bit about this.
I did drive home this time.
Yeah, you did drive a little bit. Give me a break. So, Kim, what does faith mean to you as far as what's coming up in the year, what you want to show our kids, all of that stuff?
Faith is a newer one for me. I grew up in the Catholic Church. We went to church a handful of times a year. We were First Communion, baptized, First Communion, all that. But it's not something that I have maintained in my life since I was little, and I felt a stronger pull in the last year or so to get back to that. And our kids, man, so they are really into the story of Christmas this year. Like we really did Santa hard, but we also really did like the meaning behind Christmas really hard. And they really were excited about the idea behind Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus and learning that story. So I think now's like the perfect time to start incorporating them into the world of faith and getting more involved. We don't have a local church. We try to watch church on the weekends, but I think it'll be really good this year to get the kids into the church.
Yeah, for sure.
And make that part of our routine.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Especially, they love the story of baby Jesus. Like you said, it's crazy. And we sang baby Jesus happy birthday this year. So yeah, if you don't plan for faith, then something else, you lean on something else. If you can't lean on your faith, then you end up leaning on something else, whether it be some crazy goal that you have, alcohol, drugs, anything, you lean on that. So you have to have a something to lean against and, ask for a little help every once in a while.
Another thing for me is at the end of last year, I started doing, I think most people have probably heard about it, the Bible recap. You can do it free on your phone. And so I've done it pretty well, not super consistently. So that's something I also want to carry forward, as I think that will help me figure out my faith and help guide our children. Now you grew up a little bit more involved in the church.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're at a little different level. You may have some different thoughts on where to move forward with that.
There's always the small groups and stuff like that, but we're so busy, it's kind of hard to get involved with that. But to get the kids involved with their friends at school or, something like that, and not at school, friends at school that also go to a church somewhere locally, that way they're having fun with people they know already, and then get them to see what other activities. We had Sunday night church, Wednesday night church that was for all of the youth group and stuff like that. And now, Rose is only 5, so she's not really a youth group per se. But I think getting her involved with Sunday school and stuff like that would be, really, really good.
And just putting faith at the center of our family.
Yeah.
So like you said, that's something that you lean back on instead of something less than.
Yeah. And what was your word?
Alignment.
See? Goes right in with faith.
And then family is our other pillar. And I think this is probably our most important pillar for us. And it's something that I personally think we have done really well to this point. We don't have a big support system around us very close that we can rely on.
I was just
You
looking
give
to
me a
see.
look.
No, I was looking at the time.
We don't have people right down the road who can help watch the kids and stuff like that. Like, it is up to you and me. And so this is something we've always like just kind of focused on. We always eat family dinner together. We always involve the kids in pretty much everything that we do, which is great. And I think for me this year, this just looks like maintaining that presence with our kids and really pushing into them, maybe getting them involved in some more activities that will help them grow and develop into the people that they want to become.
Yeah. And, at the end of this year, family time doesn't just happen. You have to plan for it. We plan for the dinners, like you said. We started gymnastics. The girls love gymnastics. But that wouldn't just happen without us planning that and starting it. So we have to figure out what this year's plan is going to be. If we're going to get them involved in other activities, other sports. Otto's only one. So
he's ready for it all, though.
He's ready to start wrestling or jiu-jitsu or something like that.
Baseball.
Because he is all about tackling, but we're not
throwing
going to do
balls,
football.
though.
And throwing the ball. Yeah. Hitting, kicking, everything a little boy, wants to do.
Yep.
So we got to figure out something to get Otto in. But then, that's another.
Yeah. So I think this is kind of an easier pillar for us because it's something we really hold close already. And then finance, not so much. In the past, we've done a lot of like, this business is going to do X amount. And those are such hard numbers that are so variable.
And now we're not having this business is going to do this or that business is going to do this.
Business.
It's the business.
Look at us.
We don't have 11 things going on. I think that at one time we had 11 different funnels of businesses, Instagram accounts, all of the things. And we have really let that go into one thing and it feels great.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
But just the stress about money doesn't always have to be about income. A lot of it too is just like, what do we avoid when it comes to money and stuff like that, and just kind of finding.
What do you mean?
With the rest of our stuff, like we don't plan a lot of things to do for our family, like trips and adventures and stuff like that, because we tried to save for other things and we try to do like be smart in those senses. And it's not being not smart, but I mostly feel like I avoid trying to plan that stuff because I don't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
Because I know it adds a little extra layer of stress.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go out to Mexican and eat as much. And then we're going to go on a big family vacation.
And just having more budget check-ins and more intentional spending, which we've done good with in the last 2 years. Very intentional spending. We've really only bought things that we truly need.
Yeah. And we're budget check-ins is going to be big this year. I think so. We'll do monthly budget check-ins. I mean, we have somebody that does our P&Ls, so we can look at that, see how much money we've made each month.
Because I don't ever know.
They send it to me, and sometimes I don't know. But for the past few years, I've been really paying attention to that.
Okay, and then fitness, because fitness should support your life. We love fitness. I love fitness. I don't have big fitness goals this year. Like, we just are very consistent with what we do. I'll have a few small goals of personal numbers I want to hit on lifts or something in the gym, but
are we going to talk about more like what we're going to do with the calendar later?
Yeah, we're going to go into our calendar plan
next. Okay,
next.
because we'll pull in these things and talk about them in the calendar. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, we work out 4 or 5 days a week anyways. So, and the girls love that. There's a kids area at the gym. That's part of our, not necessarily our faith, but man, pulling the girls. But for
most people, if you're using fitness as one of your pillars, don't think about extreme programs or hitting a certain weight loss number. Just kind of build it into your life. It's something that should give you energy. It should be something that gives you strength. It should be like a nervous system reset and mental clarity part of your day that you enjoy.
Yeah, fitness should support your life, not compete with it, for sure.
Okay, so you already gave it away that we got the big ass calendar. So let's talk about it, because you said that you wanted this and I was like, oh, again, avoidance of money. I was like, I don't know if I want to spend money on a calendar.
What is it, like $100 or something?
No, it's not even $100. Oh. I was like, I don't want to spend money on something we're going to use. And then you get a planner at the beginning of the year, you use it for a couple of weeks and then it just kind of gets forgotten about.
Yeah, but this one's huge and it's going to go somewhere so we can see it.
The thing is the more I think about life and the more I think about time and the idea of being able to see the whole calendar at once, I feel like it's going to be so beneficial because time is so finite. Like you only get so many days, you only get so many years if you're lucky, and you never know what that means. And to not make the most of every single year because you're living on autopilot is not how you should go about your life. So I went ahead and I ordered it for you for your Christmas present, even though you got it beforehand, because to me, having a way to plan out your year like this is because you can't live intentionally on leftover time.
Yeah.
You need to live intentionally on the time that you have.
Heck yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
And we're going to do it together. So it's going to force us to plan a lot together for our family, which is good conversation. It's good marriage building.
Yeah.
And, you know, seeing it like that, it's going to make the year feel real before the year happens.
Yeah, it just provides that visual. You know, we get together, have our, you know, a visual of both of our mom, dad, business owner, kind of hats, and then family, everything all together right there where we can see it. We know what the year is mostly going to look like, at least the hard, you know, the big things. We're going to have them pre-planned out. And like I said, you know, you don't know what's going to come between all of those things, but you can plan a little bit.
But what sucks so much is like you could start the year and be like, we want to take a trip to Florida this year with our family. Like Otto has never been to Florida. He's only been alive for a year. We've not traveled since he's been here because it's been crazy. But like if you don't write it down, your other things in life take over. Like all of a sudden you're too busy with work. You can't take 4 or 5 days off, or we have something else. We have this obligation. We have this obligation. We need to go to here, and things start piling into your calendar that you can't control.
Yeah.
So if we can start our year with the things that mean a lot to us and are really important to us to get done that year, then we have that little piece of control, and we get to have that control on the year where we're like, we made the year what we want it to be, despite everything that got thrown at us after. But we saved those specific spots on the calendar for us, for what we wanted to do, to make our year what we want it to be.
Yeah, and it kind of like having that out there in front of you, it forces those conversations ahead of time instead of like, oh, it's July, we haven't went on vacation yet, we need to figure out somewhere to go. And then by the time you figure it out in July, everything's already booked. You're just going to have like a mini weekend kind of deal, or it's not going to be something that you really, really wanted. And it kind of makes the year feel more real because you've visualized everything and you have it right there in front of you.
And you make your year what you want it to be. Yeah. So how we're going to do this, Jesse Itzler created this big ass calendar system based on that kind of thought process that you should have control over your year. You should plan the things you want to do before all the stuff that you don't want to do takes over and you don't get to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So one of the things he talks about, and that is like an old Chinese saying, is a Misogi. Am I saying that? Misogi.
Yeah. You talk
look
about
it up. Anyway,
talk about it and I'll look it up.
It's supposed to be a 1 year defining a thing that you do. And it's supposed to be really hard or really scary, and something that when you look back, you can say, in 2026, I did this. In 2025, I did this. It's something that you will remember forever that you did that year. And so we are going to try to do something this year. This one feels the hardest for me to plan because it is scary and we don't have a lot of time, and I don't know what that means.
Yeah, no kidding. So it's Jesse Itzler's year-defining moment concept comes from his Misogi challenge, an annual, extremely difficult personal feat like running a marathon, writing a book, building a car that pushes the limits, builds grit, and creates a major life memory.
This one scares
me.
What
I think we're going to do is create a major life memory. We don't have time to train for a marathon because we like to do everything together. As far as that kind of stuff goes, we don't really want to do any kind of fitness competitions.
You want to get jacked?
I mean, getting jacked is part of doing it together, but a fitness competition is not necessarily going to get you jacked. I mean, it might, but I don't plan on running an ultra marathon or anything this year.
So do you think we're going to pick like a But it's supposed to be hard or
No.
I guess just life.
Yeah, it just said
Like, in 2025, you did this thing.
creates a major life memory.
So what are we going to do?
Something big with the family that creates a major life memory. I mean, the girl's favorite part of Christmas was staying in that stupid ass hotel.
I know.
On the way up there.
I know. We stayed in not even a nice hotel, just a cheap hotel. We weren't even there for 8 hours.
No, we called it a sleepover. You asked the girl what their favorite part of Christmas was, and they said the sleepover.
Yeah.
They got to jump on the bed and sing.
I mean, that's easy. But I'm not going to be like, oh, in 2025, we stayed at a hotel for 6 hours and nobody slept.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't
No,
life-changing.
No, for sure. I don't know what my life-changing thing is going to be for the year, for sure. At least the one big thing. Something that I thought about doing that you sent me, and it's going to be doable until like June or July, is run the date. So on January 1st, you run 1.01 miles. January 2nd, 1.02, 1.03, etc. But then, that's like 8 minutes. 8 minutes, 8 minutes. Like all of January can be done in 8 minutes. But in February, you got to run 2 miles. So then you're looking at 15, 16
Unless you get
minutes.
faster.
But then, depending on how fast you get, come June, you're looking at 50 minutes or an hour. July, another hour or an hour because you're running so much. That's
a lot of running.
Well, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Finding an extra hour a day would be very difficult.
So we got to think on this one.
But that's not one thing. That's just a whole bunch of things.
We got to think what our year defining thing's going to be.
We'll figure it out before the next podcast for sure.
Yeah, because the next podcast we'll go over kind of what we did actually plan for each thing.
Yeah, we may show you the calendar.
And then the other thing that he talks about is, kind of instead of thinking, what do we want to accomplish this year? It's more like, what do we want to remember? And like we said, family is a big focus for us. And so a few small adventures, if we could plan like 5 or 6 small fun adventures that are memorable, like not year defining memorable, but are memorable, then that's 6 adventures we got under our belt this year that you wouldn't normally get because we wouldn't normally take them if we don't plan them now.
Yeah. And I think so too. I mean, it could be as simple as a small trip to the Red River Gorge, or just, we spent the day.
You work with these people that own these Highland cows, just like going to pet them would be super fun for a little day out. Like small things like that are just like, we wouldn't normally plan that activity. Like we just normally wouldn't plan that activity.
Jesse calls these Kevin's rule, and it is 6 mini adventures every year, 1 every other month, to create consistent new experiences to break up that daily routine. Because, you just get in some kind of routine. So every other month, if you plan like a 3-day little something, doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be, we're not working for these 3 days and we're going to go to the playground all 3 days, all day. We're going to get lunch, pizza, whatever. We're just going to spend 3 days in a row at the playground and go to different playgrounds or something. Just to break up the monotony of everyday life. So, and I think that could be very fun.
Is there anything you wanted to pull in from faith or finance to add, how you're going to add it into our calendar as we go? Because we just kind of talked about family. That's like the big things. Fitness just kind of comes, that doesn't really go on the big calendar just because it's something that
that's already a habit.
That's a life for us. That's just what we do. But like I said, I will have some small, like personal gym goals.
Yeah, and we'll put that in there on the next one. We'll talk about specifics. I don't know about faith specific challenges or that would go on the calendar. We need to find the local church that we want to go to and then start going there instead of, going to my hometown church once a month or whatever. I think after we do that, just to see what that church has to offer, then we'll be able to add in the faith things. Because if they have like a vacation Bible school during June, maybe we can get involved with that. Or if they have some church trips or something like that, we could for sure add that in on the calendar. And that's where experience comes in. Like I said, you don't know what goes in between all of the big goals because we haven't done it before. So we have to, like cushion the calendar a little bit because, hey, we're going to add these things in because we don't know about them yet, but we have to expect that some things are going to change.
Okay. So before we move on, I want to ask you, like, personally, what your thoughts are for business this year. Like, not financial goals, but are you doing anything? Like, I know in the past you've talked about masterminds, stuff like that. Are you doing anything like that? Do you plan?
Yeah, actually, so I just got a message today. We're doing a 12-week program where I thought it was just a book club, but apparently it's more than a book club because my workbook is ready. And
It's class.
I
It's
have
school.
a workbook.
That'd be good for you.
Yeah. So there's 10 of us in there. It's a 12-week program. People from a variety of businesses, from mortgage people, somebody that runs a jiu-jitsu training facility. He's fought in the UFC. Somebody that runs a med spa. Myself runs a media company. Everybody's been in business different amounts of time. One of the ladies, I think she's been in business over 25 years. We've been in business 10 or so years. Liz, the lady that runs our gym or that owns the gym, she has only been in her business a year, her med spa business, not the gym.
That'd be fun.
So it'll be a different aspect from everybody.
I'm kind of jealous. I want to learn something this year.
Yeah, it's fun. I think it'll be fun. And I've also wanted to, with the podcast, I want to do some kind of a book club to bring the viewers in on the podcast where we read the book together, talk about the book as one of our topics of conversation. And then, you guys out there can also read along with us and see if you have some of the same thoughts and feelings about the variety of books, whether it be something to do with faith, family, health and fitness, or business. And maybe we can plan that out and we can do one per quarter or something like that. That way we get all four
That would be
things
good.
in.
And not too overwhelming because reading for me is very hard to do.
Yeah, it's another time thing,
It's one of those things I wish I had more time for, and I just do not. But I'm going to be aligned and in control this year, and I will read more books this year.
Yeah, and another business thing that I want to do is get more recurring clients instead of so many reoccurring clients. And a lot of people don't know the difference in that. They kind of think somebody messes up saying recurring whenever they say reoccurring. But reoccurring is like somebody who uses your service as they need it or buys your product as they need it. Like, for instance, all of Pepsi's clients are reoccurring. You go to the store and you buy a Pepsi whenever you want a Pepsi.
I want it, yeah.
Right. But recurring means they're going to pay you every month to provide a service for them. So on the first day of every month, all of your recurring clients pay an invoice and you provide a service for that month. So it's recurring. Every single month, that client is coming back to you. No matter what, you're providing a service for them. So I want to get more of those. And a part of a recurring theme would be, or a recurring kind of client situation would be sponsors for the podcast. I want to build the podcast up as part of the Freedom and Hustle Media Corporation company income to a certain level. That way, when you run a reoccurring business, you're kind of at the beck and call of all your clients. When a realtor gets ready to list a house, they call me. I need to be available within 3 days or so to shoot that property. But if we are providing marketing services for a client, we can shoot photos and videos and record audio for every client for the first 5 days of the month and just pack it all in and then take care of all the distribution from anywhere we want. So it kind of gives us a little bit more flexibility for travel, family time, and stuff like that. So that's the business idea.
So what do you think? Do you think we're like in the minority that we are planning our year together as a couple, as a family? Do you think I feel like most people probably plan like their goals and their years separate and then kind of talk about it.
So
what do you think? Like,
okay, here's my thoughts on this situation. Most people don't plan anything except for a vacation. And then they just kind of...
Most people?
I feel like the majority of people don't plan a lot of stuff. Do your parents plan?
I mean, they got lots of vacations planned, yeah.
Besides vacations, though. Have your parents in your entire life done any kind of planning together for their, I mean, they don't run,
Not
they didn't
that I
run
know of.
businesses.
They didn't,
right?
Yeah, they're working. Not that I know of.
Yeah. But your dad probably planned stuff at work,
Yeah.
you know, with the company. They had an annual business plan or whatever,
Yeah.
which would be separate. So unless you run a business, you're definitely going to be planning it separate, because the company you work for probably has some kind of plan, or the team that you work for probably has some kind of business plan that they work off of.
Okay, but don't you think as a husband and wife outside of work, you should be planning your year together?
Yes.
Like this.
1000%. As, you know, and it can still be faith, family, finance, and fitness. But the finance side of it comes from getting a promotion, or adding money to the savings account, or meeting with your local financial advisor to put money in certain portfolios or whatever. That's the finance side of it. And then the family, faith, and fitness side of it is exactly the same as what we would be planning.
Yeah, because
But I feel like most people don't do that.
I feel like
pretty sure we're in the minority for that.
I just feel like I don't know. I feel like it just reduces friction between us. We're on the same page. We're growing together in our faith and our family and our fitness and our relationship.
And we've talked about this before. Most people don't have the 30,000 foot view, and they can't see the world around them.
Yeah.
They're just living in it. They're literally.
Well, I think that's a challenge for everyone then. If you aren't planning your year with your spouse, you should, because these tiny misalignments where you don't really know each other's goals and plans, even if they're little, that's what's going to create friction, even when nothing else is going wrong. It's like little hits here and little hits there, just because like you're maybe trying to run every single day, and you kind of told me about it, but then I'm pissed when I'm cooking dinner and you're like, oh, I didn't get my run in, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
But like if the beginning of the year, I know that, and I have that expectation that that's one of your personal goals, then we can work together to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that may be one of the reasons why we've not really planned this in this way ever before, but we talk about everything that we have going on. So I think that maybe that's the reason why we don't really fight much or ever about anything, because we're so, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
We always try to grow together.
Yeah,
you grow differently.
You either grow together or you grow separate.
Yes.
You know, or you grow together or grow apart. We've always
focused on growing together and bringing our little family with us.
Yeah.
And
there's fewer assumptions, way more teamwork. You know, we go to the gym together every day. There's a couple of other people that do that with their spouses. But yeah, we just try to reduce friction as much as possible. Alignment and optimization. Damn.
Those are our words. Okay, well, if this conversation kind of helped you think differently about the year and how you want to plan it, then stay with us, because next episode we're going to go through what we actually planned on the Big S calendar and why we picked certain things and what it's looking like, because this is the kind of life we're building here.
That's right. And remember, there's no secret to success. You have to work for it.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you found value in this episode, make sure to share it with a friend and follow us on social media. And remember, no matter where you are in your journey, you can always be better today.